This is Midrash Rabbah, Parshat Vayeshev, entitled The Irony That Saved the Davidic Line, How God Safeguards Jewish Destiny. So let me set the scene for you. After the brothers sold Yosef into slavery, they realized that their father Yaakov is inconsolable, and they start to regret what they did, and they all blame it conveniently on Yehuda. After all, it was Yehuda's idea to sell Yosef. And Yehuda sort of takes the heat because he, after all, was the head of the tribe. He emerged as the one who was taking control and giving orders. And now that everybody was dissatisfied with him, he sort of left the family. He went off, he got married, he had 2 kids, and then another kid. The first 2 died, and the wife of the first one was, you remember, Tamar. She married the second one, then he died, and he told Tamar, wait for the third one, Shelah, to grow up. So she waited and waited, and even when Shelah grew up, it never happened, and she realized the only way to get into this family is to take things in her own hands, and Yehuda had not been honest with her. So she dresses up as a prostitute. She takes as a payment, in lieu of the payment that he's going to send, she takes sort of collateral, his signet ring, his cord, and his staff. And then she gets pregnant. And when they realize that you're pregnant, even though Yehuda had no intention of marrying her off to her third son, they bring her out to court, and it's decided that she's going to be burned to death for what she did. And she doesn't embarrass Yehuda. All she does is gently say these powerful words to him. She says, Haker na, lemia chatomet hapsilim v'amater ele. Please, do you recognize this signet ring and this cord and this staff? Because the one who got me pregnant, it belongs to him. Those powerful words set into motion a whole cascade of consequences because they ring in Yehuda's ears. And he gets the message. After all, when he sold Yosef into slavery and they took a baby goat and they shechted it and they dipped Yosef's famous coat of many colors, Ptorat Kasim, into the blood, and they sent it to Yaakov and they said, Hakerna, please, do you recognize? Right? This is the very same words. Hakerna ktonet bincha hu imlo. Does this happen to be that the cloak that belongs to your son, or perhaps not? It was dripping with irony because, after all, they knew exactly what it was. But when she used the same words, Hakerna, as I said, it was kind of a stabbing realization that he had been dishonest to her, and even though he was tricked, it was surely a punishment for the fact that he tricked his father. Midrash Rabbah underscores the irony of the situation with 4 words. Haker na es borech. Do you recognize your creator? Haker na really meant, do you recognize yourself? Do you recognize that you were once the leader of the Jewish people? And at this pivotal moment right now, you either can reclaim that leadership by taking ownership in front of all these people of what you did, or not. Do you recognize the sin you did? Do you regret it? Do you recognize how you deceived me, Tamar, and how you deceived your father? But do you recognize that you are destined for greatness if you grab hold right now of the reins and admit it? And Yehuda steps forward with tremendous courage and says, Tzadka mimeni, she is more righteous than I. I'm the one that did this. I'm the one that's responsible. I'm the one that fooled her. I'm the one that is to blame completely, and she is blameless. And that, of course, was a turning point where Yehuda regained the leadership of the Jewish people. Don't forget, he wasn't the oldest. It wasn't supposed to be Yehuda. He just emerged because he took responsibility. That is the essence of a great leadership, to take responsibility and fess up when you did something wrong, even if it's in public, even if it's terribly embarrassing. So let me ask a question. Do you think that Tamar happened to say these pivotal words, hakerna, or did perhaps God plant these words in her mouth? Does God actually manipulate our speech? I would say for sure that at pivotal times in Jewish destiny, because after all, who did she have? Who was she carrying? Twins, one Peretz, which is part of the ancestors of King David. This is the ancestor of the Melech HaMashiach. This is the whole Davidic line that was at stake. So surely God put those words in his mouth as giving an opportunity to Yehuda to fess up and stand up, and he did. And it wouldn't be the first time. Two famous examples that come to mind is when Yaakov stole the bracha from his brother Esav, and his father Yitzchak, according to the Midrash, wanted to curse him, but instead he said, Gam baruch tiyeh, you too will be blessed. And it wasn't what he intended to say. But God, again, in this pivotal moment where the whole Jewish people needed to unfold through Avram, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, he does not have the prerogative of cursing his son and perhaps derailing Jewish destiny. And the same is true with Ruth and Boaz, right? Boaz was the spiritual leader of the Jewish people. This beautiful young girl is lying there next to his feet, and he gets up and startled, and he wants to curse her, but he doesn't. Instead, he also blesses her, because this is the ancestor of the Melech HaMashiach through Ruth. And again, you lose that free will when you're talking about Jewish destiny. So what are we supposed to take away from this incident? I think it's something very consistent and uplifting. In other words, God runs the world. If God has to manipulate people and events, so be it, because God is vigilant on protecting Jewish destiny. And so we don't have to worry. If things look ominous, don't worry. God is standing by and is not going to let anything interfere with the way God has determined Jewish history to unfold. Have a great Shabbos.